Hello everyone, how are you today? Imagine waking up one morning wanting to get out of bed, but your legs no longer have enough strength. You find yourself unsteady between the bed and the floor, realizing that you can no longer walk on your own. For millions of elderly individuals, this is not a distant assumption. It's a reality that unfolds every day because a silent enemy is quietly taking away their mobility and health. Age-related muscle loss. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, older adults are at higher risk of physical weakness due to seemingly minor issues, including how you store food daily. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But did you know that many common foods, if stored improperly in the refrigerator, can become potential hazards, not only reducing nutritional quality, but also leading to poisoning, inflammation, or loss of their inherent health benefits? Even in the few minutes you're watching this video, dozens of elderly individuals may be hospitalized for food-related reasons. Sadly, most of these incidents can be prevented simply by understanding and changing how we store food. Today, we'll explore 6 familiar foods that you should not keep in the refrigerator, especially if you're age 50 or older. Some of these items might be sitting right in your kitchen at this moment, and the 5th food will truly surprise you. If you or your loved ones are living with diabetes, high blood pressure, or simply wish to maintain health and mobility in old age, today's video will surely provide useful and practical knowledge. Watch until the end of the video, as we'll share an additional simple tip to help you store food properly while preserving its flavor and nutritional value. 1. Bread. The colder it gets, the faster it dries out, molds, and loses quality. Bread is a familiar, easily digestible food, often used for breakfast or snacks. For older adults, a slice of bread with eggs or a bit of peanut butter can be a light, convenient meal. However, many people habitually put bread in the refrigerator, hoping it will stay fresh longer. Unfortunately, this has the opposite effect. At cold temperatures, a reaction called retrogradation occurs almost immediately. This is the process where starch molecules in bread recrystallize in a cold environment, causing the bread to become dry, hard, and quickly lose its original soft texture. If you've ever taken bread out of the refrigerator and found the slices to be hard, crumbly, and lacking the elasticity they had when first bought, that's a sign of retrogradation. Moreover, the cold, humid environment in the refrigerator is ideal for mold growth, especially when you frequently open the fridge, causing condensation that seeps into the food. While mold can be visible to the naked eye, mold toxins, mycotoxins, are not. For older adults with weakened immune systems, accidentally consuming moldy bread, even a small portion, can cause digestive disorders or affect the liver and nervous system. So, what's a better solution? The answer is freezing instead of refrigerating. When you slice the bread, wrap it tightly, and place it in the freezer, you can preserve it for several weeks to a month without it drying out or molding. When needed, just take it out and toast it, and the bread will almost return to its original freshness. Alternatively, you can store it at room temperature in a sealed container or paper bag if you plan to use it within 2 to 3 days. Avoid placing bread near hot areas like the stove or direct sunlight, as this will accelerate mold growth. Have you been storing bread in the refrigerator, thinking it's the right thing to do? After today, you might have a different perspective. 2. Potatoes, a national staple that can become harmful when stored in the fridge. Do you often store raw potatoes in the refrigerator to keep them fresh longer? If so, it's time to stop. Although potatoes are a common and starchy food, they are also one of the most sensitive to low temperatures. Storing them improperly can turn a nutritious food into a potential health risk. Nutritionally, raw potatoes contain plenty of starch, vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. However, when stored in an environment that is too cold, the starch in potatoes rapidly converts into sugar through a natural chemical process. At first glance, this may seem harmless, but this is where the concern begins. When these sugar-enriched potatoes are later baked or fried at high temperatures, the sugar reacts with amino acids to form acrylamide, a compound linked to cancer risk in animal studies and currently under close observation for its potential impact on humans, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer. That's not all. The texture of potatoes is also seriously affected. You might notice that the potatoes become damp, mushy, or discolored after just a few days in the refrigerator. When cooked, they may turn overly soft, unusually sweet, or have an odd taste that makes the dish less enjoyable. So, what should you do instead? Store potatoes in a dry, cool, and dark place. A mesh bag or bamboo basket placed in a shaded kitchen corner is sufficient. Avoid putting them in the refrigerator if you haven't prepared them yet. Another important note: if potatoes have sprouted or their skins have turned green, it's best to discard them, because the level of solanine, a natural toxin, may have increased significantly. Are you currently storing your potatoes in the fridge? After today, you might want to check again. Feel free to share if you've ever experienced strange tasting or watery potatoes after cooking. 3. Tomatoes, a sweet fruit that can become bland and lose quality when chilled. Tomatoes are not only ingredients that add color and flavor to dishes, but also a nutritious fruit, rich in vitamin C, lycopene, and antioxidants that help protect cells. However, tomatoes are among the most vulnerable foods when stored in the refrigerator. According to researchers from the University of Florida, when tomatoes are kept at temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius, their natural ripening process is disrupted, leading to a loss of flavor and texture. Have you ever bitten into a tomato that looks red and ripe but tastes bland? That's because you've forced the tomato to stop developing its flavor by refrigerating it too early. Furthermore, chilled tomatoes lose the elasticity of their flesh, becoming mushy, watery, or soft after a few days. This happens because the enzymes responsible for maintaining structure are frozen, causing the fruit to lose its crispness and juicy feel. Nutritionally, vitamin C in tomatoes can decrease when stored in the refrigerator for too long, especially when the skin starts to wrinkle or change color. You're not only losing the taste, but also wasting the antioxidants that are the fruit's strength. The best way to store tomatoes is at room temperature, in a breathable basket, and away from direct sunlight. If the tomatoes are overripe and you can't use them immediately, cook them into a sauce, make a smoothie, or freeze them. This method retains most of the nutrition and allows for gradual use. Have you been refrigerating tomatoes out of fear they'll spoil? After today, you might change your habits to preserve the sweet flavor and health benefits of tomatoes. 5. Garlic, a medicinal herb that can become a threat if refrigerated garlic is known as one of the most beneficial spices for health. It contains allicin, a powerful antibacterial compound that helps strengthen immunity, lower blood pressure, and protect the heart. Especially for older adults, garlic is often included as part of a healthy diet to reduce inflammation and support immune function. However, few people know that when garlic is kept in the refrigerator, many of these benefits gradually disappear. More dangerously, it can even pose a serious health risk. The refrigerator is a cold and humid environment, which makes whole garlic bulbs more susceptible to hidden moisture and early sprouting. While garlic sprouts are not directly harmful, they are a sign that the chemical structure of the bulb has changed and the valuable allicin compound is nearly gone. But what really concerns health experts is when garlic is chopped or pureed and stored in oil inside the refrigerator. This creates an ideal condition for the growth of Clostridium botulinum, a type of bacteria that produces extremely potent neurotoxins. These toxins can lead to muscle paralysis, respiratory failure, and death if not detected in time. The FDA has repeatedly warned about this danger, especially for garlic in oil that is not mixed with acidic components such as vinegar. So, how should garlic be stored properly? Whole garlic bulbs should be kept in a breathable basket or mesh bag, in a cool, dry, and dark place. For peeled or chopped garlic, it should be used immediately, or soaked in apple cider vinegar or lemon juice to increase acidity and reduce bacterial growth, and then stored in the refrigerator for no more than 2 days. Garlic is very beneficial, but if you store it the wrong way, the harm can outweigh the benefits. If the garlic in your fridge is sprouting, soft, or has an unusual smell, it's best not to use it. Are you currently keeping garlic in oil? If so, check it today to make sure you are using garlic to support your health, not risking it due to a small mistake in storage. 5. Honey, natural sweetness that can spoil if refrigerated. Honey has long been considered a natural tonic. It contains natural antibacterial enzymes, is rich in antioxidants, and can help soothe sore throats, support digestion, boost immunity, and slow down cellular aging. But all of these benefits may be lost if you accidentally store honey in the refrigerator. Unlike many other foods, honey does not need and should not be refrigerated. The first reason is that honey easily crystallizes at low temperatures. When stored in the fridge, the sugars in honey clump into crystals, causing it to become thick, gritty, and difficult to use. You might think that crystallization only changes the texture, but in fact, The process also reduces the activity of natural enzymes in honey, including glucose oxidase, the compound that produces hydrogen peroxide, a key factor in honey's antibacterial power. Another issue is that when you repeatedly open the jar and scoop honey from a cold container, you unintentionally introduce moisture into the jar. Since honey is highly hygroscopic, this moisture causes it to ferment more easily, leading to a sour smell or even microbial growth, something that should never happen if honey is stored properly. According to experts from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, honey can retain its antibacterial properties for years if stored in a cool, dry place away from light, such as in a pantry or a dark kitchen cabinet. All you need to do is store honey in a sealed glass jar at room temperature, away from heat sources like stoves or direct sunlight. There is no need for refrigeration, no need for freezing, and certainly no need to soak in water or leave it open too long. If you've ever noticed honey turning sour, changing color, or developing foam, the problem may not lie in the honey's quality, but rather in improper storage. Honey is naturally long-lasting if you let it breathe in the right environment. Are you storing honey in the fridge? If so, try taking it out and leaving it at room temperature for a few days. You will see the honey return to its smooth texture, easy to pour and use, and it will retain all of its amazing natural benefits. 6. Onions. Choosing the wrong storage spot can turn your kitchen into a bacteria zone. Onions are among the most widely used cooking ingredients in the world. Just a few slices of onion can make a dish richer and more flavorful. But if you have the habit of putting whole onions in the refrigerator, unfortunately, you may be ruining their natural storage properties. Onions have a dry, thin, papery outer skin. This layer not only protects the bulb from pests, but also helps prevent moisture absorption from the environment. However, in the cold and humid environment of the refrigerator, this protective skin easily breaks down. As a result, the onion absorbs too much moisture, leading to softness, spoilage, and mold. In addition, onions stored in the refrigerator are prone to odor transfer. Have you ever kept butter or fruit near onions and noticed that everything in the fridge starts to smell like onions? That's because the sulfur compounds in onions are highly volatile and easily seep into other foods, altering their flavor and reducing their appeal. There's another risk that many people overlook. Bacteria can grow on sliced onions, even if they are wrapped tightly. Once cut, the inner flesh of the onion is exposed to air and moisture, becoming an ideal environment for bacteria to grow if not used immediately. Although there are rumors that onions absorb toxins from the air, this has not been scientifically proven. However, improper storage of onions is a very real concern, especially if you live with elderly individuals or those with chronic illnesses who are more vulnerable to foodborne bacteria. What's the solution? Store whole onions in a dry, well-ventilated, and dark place, such as a kitchen cabinet away from direct light, or in a mesh bag hung in a cool corner. If the onion has been cut, it should be used right away, or tightly wrapped with food-grade wrap and consumed within 1 to 2 days. Have you ever stored onions in the fridge? After today, you may want to check your vegetable drawer right away. As you can see, the habits that may seem harmless, like putting a potato in the fridge or storing a jar of honey next to the vegetable drawer, can silently affect your health and the health of your loved ones, especially as the body becomes more sensitive with age. You do not need to change everything overnight, but starting with one small thing, such as taking the potatoes out of the fridge, moving the onions to a dry corner, or placing your bottle of olive oil in a cool, dark place, is already a step in the right direction. It helps preserve the true value of your food and protects your long-term health. If you are living with diabetes, high blood pressure, or simply want to reduce inflammation, strengthen your immune system, and prevent physical decline, then storing food properly is not a choice. It is a necessity. Remember, the refrigerator is a helper, but it is not a home for every food. Some foods can only deliver their full value when stored in the right place and in the right way. And that is when you begin to take control of your health right from your own kitchen. If you found today's sharing helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss upcoming videos. We will continue bringing you science-backed, easy-to-understand, and practical content to support your health and your family's well-being. Which foods from today's list do you use most often? Have you ever stored onions, tomatoes, or bread in the refrigerator? Leave a comment below and share your story. I'm always happy to listen and learn from your personal health experiences. Wishing you good health, peace of mind, and confidence in managing your health, no matter your age. See you in the next video.